I grew up in a very rough neighborhood where I was bullied a lot, and so I had to learn some kind of martial arts, right? And I asked my father to enroll me in karate classes, and I learned karate for a long time, and then in a year I started winning all these medals, and I thought now's the time to stand up to my bullies. And when I went and stood up to them, I got beaten very badly. And I was sitting down feeling sorry for myself, crying, when I met this mentor who said, "Do you really want to learn to fight? I understand you have courage, but do you have the will?" And I was like, what are these words? I have no idea what either of them means. And he said, "Let's check your will. Come to my house at 5 in the morning." And this guy turned out to actually be an assassin in hiding, living in my neighborhood, passing off as a security guard. And he taught me a lot of martial arts, which I thought was practical, and he taught me in very few days how I can protect myself. And I stood up to those bullies exactly a week later, and this time they were begging for mercy. This, as a young boy, was a very positive reinforcement of my own power for me. I realized that I don't have to be afraid of any kind of violence. I can handle it, and it's really not that complicated. Which is why when I went to college and I found girls complaining of daily fears of being molested or being abused or being raped, I realized that I can contribute to solving this problem. And that's when I created my first self-defense program, and this was in 2002. It was so simple, and you could learn it in a day, and it went viral. People started going crazy about it, and I shared the technology freely, and then it went and reached over 10 million children, girl children, and many of them have written to me and told me how they use my techniques to save their life when it was in danger. For example, there was a 13-year-old girl who went into a public toilet, and two men followed her in there and locked the door, and they started to hold her and feel her up and all that. And then she used one of my techniques, which is to have an epileptic fit, just start having an epileptic fit. And people are not sure what's going on with you. They get confused, they get afraid, and they run away. And that's exactly what happened to that girl. She saved her life with one of my techniques. So these are the kind of techniques that I teach, that I think are practical and that everybody needs to know. There are some basics of self-defense. And it's not an endorsement of violence, it's just an antidote to it, so that you can carry confidence with you wherever you go. The world is never going to stop being violent. Never going to stop being violent. This is something that you should realize. You cannot eliminate violence. It's ingrained in us as a species. But knowing this, I do know that human beings have a better nature. And that only comes out when you're feeling safe. And we do cooperate, we co-create, and we help each other out. And that's my vision for society. I want Indian society to be violence-free, and I want it to operate on a culture of consent. This was my vision. Right now I live in Manali. I train people who come here from very far away to learn from me. I've retired almost, but I do want to get back in the game, but this time I want to scale it. I want to make it big, and I wanted to reach everybody who I couldn't reach. I reached 10 million people, but that's not enough. India is a very big country. We have to reach a lot of people, give them the message of how they can deal with violence and make it easy for them to have to live a life where their consent is valued and live among people who value them. So that's what I'm trying to do through my martial art, and that's what my martial art has become. It's no longer about violence. If you see my techniques today, they're evolved. I'm able to dominate people without hurting them, and this is so important for me. I don't want to hurt people, because hurt people. So if I start a chain of violence and I end up hurting someone, they're going to come and try and hurt me back. Or they're going to try and hurt someone who I care about. I don't want to get into this chain of infinite violence. So when violence comes to me, it ends there. I want it to end. My work is far from done. The situation hasn't changed much, even though I believe that I have the knowledge to help people to change the situation for themselves. And a lot of work remains to be done. I want to create a practical module of self-defense that's relevant to you, that you can learn and practice in your house and master in a very short time. That's what I want to do. And I also wanted to have lessons about violence so you can understand how to deal with emotional violence as well. That's something that nobody talks about but goes unnoticed. Emotional violence happens within the household, it happens in the family, it also happens at the workplace. So we have to learn how to deal with these things which are normalized. I want to address all of these issues in my upcoming modules.
Now you may ask, what if he punches me with the other hand? Try to punch me, Sid. Just increase the pressure. Punch me, Sid. Come on, Sid. This way the ankle is not going to break. See, I can stand on it. He just gets a little pain. Nothing happens. But if I turn the ankle this way and I step on it, if I press hard here, it's going to snap.
There are 5 or 6 categories of people who need self-defense, and their needs are very unique. The needs of women and girls commuting to work is very different from emotional violence happening in the house. It's very different also for men who really need this to feel like men, because to be dominated and pushed around makes us feel that we are losing our manliness. And having these techniques below your belt, even though you'll never use it, gives you a sense of confidence and gives you a sense of manliness.
We think this is the problem. We think this is the problem. But the person is attached to clothes.
This mission can be achieved only with your help, and I really need your help. No, I don't need your money, but I need your inputs. I need your knowledge. I need your help to design the course, which is why there's a survey attached to this video. Please fill in that survey and you'll be able to help me in this vision, if this vision resonates with you, to make India violence-free and to create a culture of consent as against the culture of rape where everyone's consent is violated. Well, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'm looking forward to you filling the survey. That's what this video is about. If you watch this video and you didn't fill the survey, then it's a waste of your time and mine. So please fill in the survey. Thank you very much for watching.
So here, the sneezing thing really works, okay? So I'm a girl and I'm traveling in a bus and here's this guy falling on me. No, that's not what they do in a bus. What kind of you're a useless creep, let me show you. Okay, here's what the creeps do, yeah? First they come and stand next to you and then slowly like this. Every time the bus applies a brake, it'll be like that, right? Things like that. That's what happens, right, girls? Yeah. Okay, so let's say I'm something like this is happening. If I say, "Hey, tere maa ben nahi hai kya?" You know, he's gonna deny that he did anything. He's gonna say, "I didn't do anything," right? So you know he did it. He knows he did it. Why should the world know that he did it? He should get punished for it. So you sneeze. Yeah, be a creep. And you say, "Oh, sorry, bhai sahab, aapko lagi kya?"